Niranjan sir, and thank you, Tara ma'am, for the opening remarks. And I want to thank the NAREDCO Mahi Secretariat and the WTC team for organizing this virtual session. I'm Khair Ull Nissa, NAREDCO Mahi Founding Vice President, a WTCA board member, and a WTC Noida Joint President, and your host for today's virtual session. I take a lot of pleasure in introducing Ed, who's also a WTCA board member and also the director for WTC Gibraltar, London, and Madrid. So, Ed, very excited to actually introduce you and the subject which is very, very close to your heart. Ed used to chair the Real Estate Committee for the World Trade Center Association, and I'm hoping that he would be the vice chair for this year. I'm actually voting for him to be the vice chair for the Real Estate Committee for World Trade Center Association. So Ed, could you explain the concept of World Trade Center?
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed to all of you for your really kind introductions, and it's great to join you this afternoon, I guess I should say, or this evening in that part of the world. So the concept of a World Trade Center, well, it goes back to its foundations back in the 1960s, really, and the founding principles or core values around the World Trade Center are based around fostering and promoting economic growth and trade through peace. And a lot of that was sort of purported through the Rockefeller Foundation initially, and it amounted with the buildings in New York originally. Since then, obviously, the World Trade Center has grown into a membership of over 320 World Trade Centers. That's over 110 buildings in around 92 countries, which is about, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 72 capital cities as well. So we've got a really, really good global network that we are tied into. And very much, I think one of the things that you may have all found in your working lives is that it's all about the local connections. And that's where I think, the concept of World Trade Center is really important, because we're dealing with a global network that has a really intricate local connection network as well, which is the thing that a lot of big corporates tend not to find that they have. The concept of our network is usually split down two ways. So we operate a system where we offer trade services to members, and those trade services can range from a load of different things. It could be B2B work, it could be initiatives and networking, it could be to do with information on tax and regulations and trading situations in different jurisdictions. And it also provides trade missions inbound and outbound of those locations. But we also have a very expansive and great network of buildings within the World Trade Centers Association. And those buildings tend to be pretty iconic in the locations where they are. And we tend to find through evidence from previous developments that these buildings are a catalyst for further growth in those areas that they're developed. So I think the concept really does still, reach back to its origins and the foundations by which they were made, which is that it's fostering growth and prosperity through trade.